To be Prussian is an honor, but not a pleasure. The heretic forces led the faithful in the arms race of tanks and other armored vehicles. They are heavily armored, fast-moving, and often armed with terrifying Hellforge sacrilege-type tank mortars. These weapons are designed to penetrate trenches, pillboxes, and other defensive structures by employing technology that briefly tears through reality to puncture the defenses. They target the occupants within using ammunition that unleashes echoes of the reversed words of God's creation, reverberating at bone-shattering volume throughout the structures under attack. Specifically designed to undo divine work, they peel away skin, nervous systems, and finally the flesh and internal organs of any mortals, layer by layer for each word as God's creation is undone, causing excruciating death as their target slowly becomes unmade. To counter these armored threats that have been used time and again to break through their lines, the Prussians have developed many battlefield innovations, from anti-material rifles to specialist close-quarter Gardekorps units. As the sacrilege cannons are slow-firing and hard to aim, the Prussians countered them with lightning-fast close-quarters tactics. The swords of the Gardekorps, commonly called tank splitters, are specifically designed to disable or destroy enemy armored vehicles. Developed by the Prussian Institute of Metallurgy, their edges are orichalcum and titanium alloy, and these near monomolecular blades can cut through most vehicle tracks and armor with ease, disabling them while the rest of the unit swarms the tank with incendiary grenades. Speed is of essence here, as heretics are well aware of this tactic and counter such attacks with elite legionnaires of their own who compete with each other in capturing rather than killing the specialist Sturmtruppen so they can be sold to the agents of the court of the seven-headed serpent as punishment for their audacity. Though the Free State of Prussia is governed by an outlandish system called democracy, a relic from ancient Hellas who shouldn't exist in today's age, where each citizen can vote for representatives on the Landtag to decide state affairs. The nobility maintains a strong military tradition and has funds to buy officers' commission. Many families can trace their lineage back to the Teutonic orders who once conquered the lands of Prussia. Depicted here is Frau Hauptmann Friederika von Goltz of the 4th Gardekorps of Königsberg. Many units of the Prussian army disallow women in combat units, but scions of noble lineage often exercise their privilege of joining any regiment they wish. Von Goltz's armor is handcrafted by her personal armorer, and unlike the mass-produced suits of the rank and file, it allows sufficient speed and mobility for the furious and bitter melee combat the role of the unit requires. Menser dueling is used to assess the required bravery of candidates of the tank splitter units, and Hauptmann von Goltz carries many scars on her face to prove hers. Now we move on to the Prussian Feldkaplan. Trench clerics who fight in the Great War include a vast array of both ordained and secular fighting ministers of the Holy Word. A good example of such are the specially trained Militärgeschlich, or whatever that is, that the church militant of the Free State of Prussia dispatches to counter the heretic legion's sorcerers and high priests, who pit their fate against the fiendish goetic powers of the Inferno. Due to the importance of their role and because of the high blood price that heretics commanders have set for each chaplain killed, a price which is doubled by Mammon for captured individuals, as these priests are prime material in constructing the dreaded goetic warlocks. The Church and the Free State go to an extraordinary lengths to train and equip their chaplains with the finest weapons and armor. In battle, these Prussian trench clerics don thrice-blazed armor crafted in the sacrosanct workshops beneath Cologne Cathedral. They are styled after the armors of a bygone age to inspire the troops, but their functionality is state-of-the-art as they utilize the latest metallurgical innovations from the Königsberg Institute of Warfare. The location of the workshops is now without controversy, as both the Free State of Prussia and the Holy Roman Empire claim lordship of Cologne. This dispute stems from the time when the Free State seceded from the Empire after holding its first democratic elections. These elections were originally instituted specifically to gain independence from the Empire, but proved immensely popular with the people and have remained in place ever since. Luckily for Prussia, the Church considers the war effort more important than petty regional squabbles and has thus far placed the cathedral under their care in order to keep the war production going. The chaplain's superb armaments are not just limited to protection, they also carry special grenades filled with mere hemlock and burning incense, as well as classified chemical substances. When detonated, the shrapnel of these grenades scatters embers that rapidly burn through anything caught in the blast. Now let's move to the heretic side, and let's start with the Trench Ghost Trooper. Countless battles of the Great War have been fought over sacred sites. A myriad of ruined temples, churches, shrines, and mashadids litter no man's land, devastated by artillery, flames, and demolition charges. Graveyards and hastily dug military cemeteries are disturbed by shelling, and the boots of soldiers trample over these sites, unheeding of their original spiritual purpose. But the land remembers that which human memory does not. Over the long years of strife, many heretics have fallen in battle over hallowed ground, only to find that there is no escaping the Great War. The earth will not suffer their polluted bodies and souls, forcing them to lurch their feet and back into the fray. Heaven is denied to them, yet as their deaths tie their souls to earth, nor can they be claimed by hell. Thus a new trench ghost is born. These shades dimly remember their mortal lives, and their dead fingers grasp bolt-action rifles, throwing gas masks placed over ruined faces. As the grave cold commands of their long-dead officers echoes across the battlefields, they gather into warbands that strike out to fight once more, since rest is now denied to them. The condition of the trench ghosts fills them with bottomless hatred and envy for the living, and their warbands wage endless war against all other creatures, be they faithful or their former comrades who served the inferno. Even the poor wretches afflicted by the Black Grail are more alive than the ghosts, who would gladly exchange their cold misery for a chance to feel their pain. They attack all intruders in no man's land on sight, silently gathering into assault squads when they sense anything that does not share their miserable state. Though it no longer carries any true purpose, the trench ghosts still feel the greed for coin and the compulsion to arm and equip themselves. They loot no man's land for every buried ducat or discarded rifle and sword, and pile such loot into great hoards in hidden places. When there are no enemies to fight, they trade with each other and perform military drills, even though these actions have no real meaning. And finally, let's end this with the last one, Missionaries of the Black Grail. In the year of our Lord, 1429, after 66 years of bitter warfare, the great hegemon of Beelzebub, Yeresinia Rex, was finally brought down by the combined forces of the church led by the living saint Jana d'Arc. The final cataclysmic battle of Valence saw the destruction of most of the forces of the Black Grail in mainland Europe, thus ending the Corpse Wars. Engaged by this defeat, the fury of Beelzebub knew no bounds. He had invested so much of the power of the Black Grail on the fallen hegemon and his legions that the hatred of the Lord of Flies turned on his failed followers. The Prince of Decay cursed his miserable progeny and cast them out of the Order of the Fly, dooming them to wander the earth, mourning for their lost hegemon until time itself is no more. But not all members of the cult of the Black Grail that took part in the Corpse Wars suffered the same fate. From the city of Ekron, where the power of Beelzebub has always been at its greatest since the elder days, came the priests of the Black Grail, who acted as messengers and heralds to the hegemon, advisors sent by the Lord of Flies himself to plot the conquest of the church heartlands. They were part of the religious rather than the military hierarchy of the Black Grail, and as such were bound to the Lord of Flies directly. When the war was lost, these high-ranking servants of the cult and their personal guards broke through the faithful encirclement and turned south. Though victorious, the exhausted and decimated forces of France, the Holy Roman Empire, and the Crown of England decided not to pursue the last remnants of the seemingly broken foe. This mistake proved to be a costly one. Instead of fleeing towards heretic domains, the forces of Beelzebub stormed the city of Avignon. The city had been fortified against such an occasion, but it was betrayed from within. Hidden cultists of the Lord of the Flies opened the gates to the invaders at night, led by the traitorous cardinal of the city. If you reached this far, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.